For the past few years, it has seemed like these bullets have been flying in every direction. Individuals committing homicides, killing 5, 8, 10, 20 people in a matter of just an hour, as well as little kids accidentally pulling the trigger and ending their lives in a matter of seconds. People think that with such horrible incidents occurring, that the government should put an end to this violence by creating stricter gun laws to help prevent incidents like this from happening, such as my opponent Elizabeth thinks. I'm here to tell you that creating stricter gun laws will not lower gun-related crime. First, I'd like to talk about gun-related homicides around the world, then about Puerto Rico's gun laws and crime, and lastly, give some examples as to why gun-related crime will continue to occur even when laws are strictened. First, I'd like to talk about gun-related homicides around the world. America is currently the most pro-gun nation in the world. According to Simon Rogers, main editor and journalist of The Guardian UK, states that an average of 88 per 100 people own a gun in the U.S., making it number one. With these averages in the U.S., you would think that the U.S. tops the world tables for the firearm murder rates. However, this is not the case. They're ranked 28 with a rate of 2.97 per 100,000 people. And countries with fewer percentages of people owning guns have a much higher percentage of the firearm murder rates, such as Honduras with the 68.43 per 100,000 people, and Jamaica with the 39.4. As you know, Puerto Rico is a Commonwealth of the U.S., and it is much more stricter when it comes to towards the gun ownership laws. But again, according to Simon Rogers, they top the world stable firearm murderers percentages of all homicides, with a 94.8% compared to the U.S. with just 60%. I would now like to talk to you about Puerto Rico's gun laws and crime. Puerto Rico's firearms are very strict, however, their murder rates do not reflect that. According to the National Rifle Association, known as the NRA, obtaining a concealed carry permit for a weapon comprises of a variety of steps to take a minimum of about 5 months to receive a permit, gun, and limited amount of ammo offered to the consumer. Again, according to the NRA, once you have obtained a weapon and ammo, you have to reapply for a permit if you wish to purchase a different weapon. Also, you have to send a permission form to the government if you would like to purchase more ammo, which is a large hassle and takes a couple more weeks to process. Puerto Rico's gun crime is so bad that according to Livette Alvarez, currently the Miami bureau chief for the New York Times, states, I quote, "Now plagued by a steadily worsening murder rate, more Puerto Ricans are second-guessing the evening plans, contemplating moving to the mainland and sending away for gun permits in large numbers to protect themselves." End quote. This statement shows how terrible the crime in Puerto Rico, even with strict gun laws. Again, according to Lizette Alvarez, the reason for that statement is because in 2010 there were 983 homicides in Puerto Rico, and in New York City, containing twice the population of Puerto Rico, only had 536 homicides. With Puerto Rico as one example as to why stricter gun laws will not lower gun violence, I will now offer more examples for this dilemma. Cases around the world will offer explanations as to why, even with the strictest laws, we will still see massive deaths caused by firearms, and perhaps even prove that more lenient gun laws will result in lower crime rates. According to James Jacobs, professor and director of the Center for Research in Crime and Justice at the New York University School of Law, states, I quote, "Even in the strictest prohibitionary regime, that of the United Kingdom, gun crime continues to increase." Again, according to James Jacobs, the majority of guns are obtained through the black market, which has led to the horrific school shooting in Germany and the political assassination in Holland. The criminals of those countries are the ones who are protected from others because they have obtained the weapon illegally, but the law-abiding citizens are not. Jacobs then states that the U.S. spends billions of dollars a year to prevent people from using guns, but the government cannot keep them from those who want it, and the same goes with firearms. According to John Law, an American economist and political commentator, as well as the author of More Guns, Less Crime, shows data that reflects the reality towards lenient gun laws result in lower crime rates. I quote, "When state concealed handguns laws went into effect in a country, murders fell by about 8%, rapes fell about 5%, and aggravated assaults fell by 7%. End quote. In conclusion, Because of this massive tragedies caused by the use of guns, many people assume that stricter gun laws will reduce the amount of gun-related crimes like my opponent Elizabeth does. But as you now heard, this is not the case. However, I have talked about the gun-related homicides around the world, then about Puerto Rico's gun laws and crime, and lastly, I've given examples as to why gun-related crime will continue to increase even when gun laws are strictened. So now I'd like to end restating that creating stricter gun laws will not lower gun-related crimes.